Death. It comes for us all. But the Final Destination franchise has somehow found a way to make death not only imminent, but a rabid hunter on a path of destruction. Because if you ever avoid a massive disaster because of some creepy vision, then you better prepare yourself for a bad time, because death is coming for you. Premonitions will only save you for so long. So join us as we cover the third entry in the death-defying series and tell you what the f*** happened to Final Destination 3.
So let me get this straight. I'm gonna OD on nail polish. Ian is gonna be embarrassed to death.
Original writers and director James Wong and Glenn Morgan marked their return to the franchise after the very successful second outing from David Ellis. Wong and Morgan had always envisioned the series as one that would follow different groups every film, since, death can come for anyone. They also felt that part of the fun was seeing the characters figure out that death was coming for them, and following the same people would rob the audience of that. So a fresh new group of characters was decided upon. But what about the accident? The accident at the front and center of a Final Destination movie is a big set piece for the film. After the plane crash in the first and the absolutely life-changing highway crash in the second, the filmmakers knew they needed something big for the third outing. Thankfully, the studio, New Line, suggested that they do a roller coaster derailment. It made so much sense. It's easy to think of what could go wrong whenever going onto a roller coaster, and that fear is practically universal. So Wong and Morgan got to scripting.
A kid had a vision that the plane was going to explode, just like you did. He freaked out, and 7 people got off the plane, just like us.
What exactly is the story of Final Destination 3? Well, Wendy and her classmates are visiting an amusement park to celebrate their graduation from high school. But when Wendy has a premonition that the Devil's Flight roller coaster is going to crash, she begs to get off the ride. When she does, along with some of her other classmates, they are able to avoid death, and the coaster does end up crashing. What follows are exceedingly graphic ways in which death comes after these kids. See, death is coming for them in the same order that they died in the premonition, so they eventually think they've beaten it when they avoid death a second time. Only we all know how that goes. Wendy gets another premonition, this time while on a subway car, and this is one that she can't escape from. When it came to casting, Wong originally wanted a completely unknown group. However, once production ramped up, the studio asked for some marketable faces. Wong was most focused on the roles of Wendy and Kevin, feeling that they were the most vital to the story. Wendy was originally intended to be a perky blonde, but after Mary Elizabeth Winstead auditioned for the role and impressed with her range, they rewrote the role for her. Not a surprise given that they literally time a shot based on when a tear falls from her eye. It's amazing. Merriman won the role the moment he auditioned, with Wong feeling he was just the right guy to play Kevin. The character could easily be seen as an asshole since he's kind of moving in on Wendy after the incident, but Merriman pulls it off and doesn't make it feel creepy. Chris Lemke, who starred as Ian McKinley, actually had to learn how to drive a fork truck for his role. While this may seem like a simple task, forklifts don't exactly drive like a simple vehicle, and he had to maneuver it around very tight spaces, all while delivering lines of dialogue. The rest of the cast was rounded out with Texas Battle, Gina Holden, Amanda Crew, Crystal Lowe, Shalon Simmons, Alex Johnson, and Sam Easton. There was also a very brief cameo from a pre-Glee Corey Monteith during the festival at the end. While Tony Todd didn't return in a physical role, this time we do get him as the voice of the devil statue, as well as the subway conductor at the end.
I'm not gonna die! It's you, Wendy! You're dead!
Mostly shot at night in Vancouver, Canada, and with 2 units running at the same time, this resulted in a very hectic shooting schedule. Sometimes the paint would be drying on one set just before they were supposed to be filming on it, or take the first day of filming for example, which was changed from the roller coaster to an outdoor shot due to the rain, only for it to not rain at all when they were filming the scene. The production was rife with obstacles to overcome, even the monotonous kind. Take for example the shot of a falling hammer, which second unit had to shoot dozens of times before they got it right. That's Hollywood, baby. The roller coaster scenes were filmed over a 2-week period on the corkscrew roller coaster at Vancouver's Playland. Using a combination of CGI, mirrored shots, and running the cast through the ride dozens of times, they were able to transform the coaster into the much larger Devil's Flight coaster in the film. While the pre-accident footage was able to be shot on the ride itself, as soon as the ride starts falling apart, the scene is entirely green screened. The finished sequence consists of 144 visual effects shots. The crash is often criticized for being just too CGI looking. When it comes to a Final Destination film, few things are more important than the deaths. And Final Destination 3 has some damn good ones. The first 2 post-coaster crash deaths are of Ashley and Ashlyn, the dumb preppy girls. They get fried in a tanning salon. Since the scene required nudity, the set was completely closed off during filming. For the fire effects, a stunt woman was covered in a special fire retardant gel and was able to be set on fire for approximately 26 seconds. Next was the death of Frankie Cheeks, which required a full head cast of actor Sam Easton. Shot in 3 plates, one with the engine, one with the actor, and then one with the dummy head. They were combined for a fantastic end result. Oh, and anytime you see the chunks of brain and skull flying at the actors, know that it's just a simple combination of mashed up strawberries and bananas. Delicious. Next, for the death of Luis Ramiro, notice the last name, the production had to build custom weightlifting equipment for the gag, since they needed it to pop Luis's head like a balloon. And you know, most manufacturers tried to avoid that in their gym spaces. They did a head cast on Texas Battle, and again took the combined plate approach, to great effect.
There is someone walking behind you.
Music continued to play a big role in the series, with the Vogue's Turn Around Look at Me being used to wonderful effect. Love Roller Coaster by Ohio Players also features significantly during the tanning bed death, in a bit of twisted irony.
People around the world, join hands.
Oddly enough, there's actually a cover of the song Love Train by Tommy Lee that plays over the end credits, but the song has never been physically released. Initially, the film ended right after Ian's death, with Wendy, Kevin, and her sister Julie all walking away unscathed. But test audiences didn't react kindly and felt they'd seen it all before. But you know what they hadn't seen before? Another accident, this time with the heroes unable to avoid it. So Morgan and Wong got to work coming up with another ending. But when writing the new Subway ending, they also decided to ramp up Ian's death. While he was originally crushed by the large equipment, his body wasn't shown. So they instead decided to make it considerably gorier. The end result, which we can't really show you here, is truly glorious. As for the subway scene itself, they built a miniature of the rail system and crashed it. It provides one of the bigger thrills of the series as the film begins and ends on a massive crash.
Oh shit. Again.
Final Destination 3 released in the United States on February 10th, 2006 and brought in nearly $20 million on its opening weekend. The film ended its worldwide run at $117 million, continuing the franchise's box office success. But fans of the franchise were mixed on this entry, thinking they were receiving more of the same. It received a 43% rotten rating at Rotten Tomatoes and was summed up as being gory and pointless. The home video release is actually one of the more impressive, featuring a full-blown 90-minute making-of featurette called Kill Shot: Making Final Destination 3. This is a day-to-day breakdown of the entire filming process and an absolute must for fans of the film, or just fans of film in general. There's also a documentary called Dead Teenager Movie, a term coined by late critic Roger Ebert, which breaks down the film with a more cultural impact approach. There's also a very fun Choose Your Fate mode, where you can watch the film and get several different choose your own adventure style choices. Seriously, if you like this movie, make sure you're checking out this release. The Final Destination series continued on with 2 more films, and another currently in development for HBO Max. While we've yet to get any concrete information on the new one, fans are already chomping at the bit for more in the series. Between all of the creative deaths and fun characters, I can't think of a modern series I'd want a resurgence of more, because there's nothing quite like getting on a roller coaster and scenes from Final Destination 3 start entering your head.
Wait, it's all right.
No, it's gonna crash! It's gonna crash!